This morning in my morning prayers, I was meditating on something, and I was asking the question: why do many say God is mighty? We serve a mighty God. This is what it said: we serve a mighty God. And yet, when it comes to the time for this God that they serve to be mighty, then they put this mighty God in a box. Why? How can you say, I serve a mighty God, but yet you have an idea how mighty this God should be? The reason is, majority of these people, they never know this God. They never know this God. They've never met the God they call on. They only were handed over a version of a God. Okay? And all they did was to keep this version of the God that was handed over to them and run with it, without never experiencing or having anything to do with this God that was handed over to them. So they say God is about to do a mighty move, a mighty thing. God is about to do something that would blow your mind. And in the same line, they immediately say, so in their mind, so long as it constitutes the things we are familiar with, so long as it makes sense according to the doctrines that we teach. Yes, God is mighty. Yes, God is about to do a mighty thing, but this mighty thing has to make sense to what I know about this God. How do you say God is about to blow your mind, but yet every single thought that you have of this God is within the walls of your mind? So when they say God is about to do a mighty thing, there's a mighty move of God, that is no prophecy. No, that is performance and programming. They fear a God who is free. They fear a God who is wild. They fear a God who is not controlled by the traditions that they've been programmed in. Yes, your church can perform traditional rites. Your society, your school. Tradition is not necessarily how you grow up, the community you're coming from. Anything that is repeated over a period of time has become a tradition. So they fear a God that their traditions do not control. Because the minute they let this God move outside the boundaries of their structure, that is it. They have no control. They have no power left. They are too afraid that this mighty move of God that they talk about is about to kick them out of business. So God will be mighty so long as this God fits in the doctrines of that particular structure. And the minute that God is about to break the structure, go out of line, they hit the God to come back in line. Because that is the only how they can control the narrative. If this God's move is outside of their structure, all their power is gone. Because so long as they are able to keep God in this box will now go ahead to feed their control. You understand? Because so long as he remains here, then this God will definitely speak through them and move through them. So they are the ones that God speaks through. They are the ones that they don't want anything to do with you being a God yourself. They don't want anything to do with you finding out who you are, you understanding that, listen, I'm a prophet too. Listen, I'm a healer too. Listen, I've never been sick. Listen, I've never needed a prophet. They can't afford that God. They can't afford this God that is a wildfire. Because that God goes out of control. But their God have to be within their structure so that their God will speak through them. Then they become the only ones. And so long as their God is moving and speaking and prophesying to them, the people will keep running to them. Because if you don't come to them, you are no longer having the services of their God. If God can bless what they have spoken into being, if God can bless what they approve, what they say is right, then people become too afraid from breaking away from them, because they are afraid that, hey, if I leave this place and go somewhere else, I won't get the blessing that this man is bringing me, because God has given them the mandate. You understand what I'm saying? If God can approve what the blessings they put out, then you'll be too afraid. So they put their God to speak the language they speak. Their God have to dress like them. Their God have to walk like them. Their God have to eat where they eat, sit where they sit. Their God have to be friends with who they are friends with. Because so long as this God keeps doing exactly what they want, you are too afraid. This is why a lot of people are stuck in the church. I had a case once. The person was so afraid of this pastor that they didn't want to do anything to offend this pastor. Hey, I've heard this pastor, or I've heard this leader, or I've heard this person. He says, if you leave my church, you will go broke. If you leave my church, you will die. If you leave my church, your children will die. If you leave my church, all the blessings that have come to you will come back. What kind of God is that? This great and almighty God they preach about are only serving their terms and conditions. A great and mighty God, about to do amazing things, about to do wondrous things. Yet, so long as this God is in check, they have your fear. Because they made you feel God is only within their walls. God cannot be in the trees. God cannot be in the mountains. God cannot be in the rivers. God cannot be in the valleys. God cannot be in the forest. So long as you come into their church, you are blessed. If you stay out, and especially you keep your tithe out, this great and mighty God no longer blesses you where you go. How? All they want to do is to use this mighty God put this mighty God within their grips. I've got an announcement for you. God is not safe. God is not usable. God is not a house dog. It's not a pet. It's not a tame God. God is a wildfire. It's a lightning, a storm. It's a tsunami. It's a whirlwind, a hurricane. God is not in check. God is everywhere. Everything. God sits in the silence. God is in your dreams. God is in your visions. Is everywhere. God is in the root of the plant. God is on the higher mountains. It's everywhere. And is able to touch everyone. And is able to move everywhere. Is able to fix you right in your living room. Right in your kitchen, in your bathroom, in your bedroom. Right in the middle of the sex. God is right there, sitting there, ready to make a move on your behalf. God is not controlled by languages or doctrines or style or flair. God is not predictable. How can you, a mortal being, operating in intellectuality determine the move of God. Oh, I know the ways. What are the ways of God? How can the ways of God only fit the ways of God only fit the things you are preaching? How can God sit in a book? Why? The only how God can speak is through a book. How? Why? A book that was put together by people who didn't even believe in this God. People who didn't trust that this God needs to sit in a book. God is not controlled. It's not some ATM card. So no. I'm sorry, but no. God is not about to do a mighty thing. You are about to do a mighty thing. God is not about to do. How can God that is everywhere, in everything, is everything, do a mighty move? He is the mighty move. He is the answer even before you get the problem. He is the solution even before the chaos arises. He's not now about to move. He's everything. He doesn't move. He simply is a great move of God. Why is he starting a move? Why is God starting this move? Is he not everywhere? Is he not everything? So when did he start the move? He is the move. He is the power. He is the authority. He is the start. He is the finish. He is everything. How could... He's not about to. He finished He finished his creation from the beginning. From the minute he says, poof, everything was done. If you ever seen how he created everything, not in your books, if you've ever witnessed, he can show it to you. It's not limited. Today, tomorrow, whenever you're ready, he can show you how he created everything. And you'll be shocked. It is not the way they told you in your books. The truth of the matter is, they want a God that fits a sermon. But God is too big for your pulpits. And I'm even speaking in your concept of what God is. You understand? It's not even in my understanding where I stand. No, in your concept. So when and I'm speaking on this because when prophets, when big time prophets prophesied and say God is about to do something with you, so long as I stayed in the church, if I left the church, God wouldn't do what he said he was going to do with me, because his condition was dependent that I stay in the church. Is God not all-knowing? Pay attention. Is God not all-knowing? Is he not everywhere? So you mean to tell me before he told you the prophecy about me, he didn't know I was going to be out of the church? Come on. Come on. Before he spoke to you about me, that this is what I'm about to do, he didn't know that I would stay in the shrine. He didn't know that I would be amongst the trees. He didn't know I would lift up an offering and present it to him under the bright sky and say, oh, my Father. So your God that said something huge is about to happen had no clue. That's what they want to say. That the same God that says somebody is about to do some mighty thing is the same God that is saying, so long as you stay under that person, if you leave. So God's big move is conditional to a certain. God's big move does not transcend human interpretation. It's conditional to a certain. It's conditional to a fact and not beyond a fact. How can you know what God is doing in my life? How do you know that what is happening in your life is not God moving the way He's moving? How do you know? Because it doesn't fit the pulpit. So you say the hand of God is not in it. Because it doesn't fit the pulpit, you say the hand of God is not in it. Let me say this. I want to say this, and it won't change. Nothing can change it until the right thing is done. Until the city of Accra begin to go to all the 99 gods of Accra and honor every single one of them. I'm not talking about the Ga tribe. If you go into the realms of the spirit and if you view what is happening in the deep realms, you will know Accra is only by the mercies of the All-Father. It's only by mercy that the whole place is not drowning. Because He has strategically placed 99 gods at strategic points to ensure that each and every single one of these points, come on, ensure that each and every single one of these points holds the tides so that the water do not ever rise beyond a certain boundary. Two things that would fix the flooding of Accra, of anywhere that the flooding is happening, the flooding. When we talk about flood, people don't understand it's water. People don't understand there are energies that sit in water. You don't keep the energies clean. You don't keep the gutters clean. People don't even know gutters are gods. You don't keep the gutters clean. You don't keep the shrines clean. Look at all Polygon and all these places. You don't keep them clean. You want to talk about science? People say, oh, it's construction. We need to construct the road and we need to construct this. Is Ghana more technologically advanced than Dubai? Is Ghana more technologically advanced than LA, than Florida? Even all these places still gets flooded. Don't play with the energies. Don't play with the gods. Someone says, oh, look at how he's spiritualizing it. How dumb can you be? Life is spiritual. Before anything becomes a physical interpretation, it has already occurred in the spiritual. I say, they showed me. I was before the gods of the Ghana areas, right? And there was a meeting going on. And in this meeting, they were saying, this whole place is underwater. It's only by mercies that the water don't come to shore. It's only by the prayers of some of the people who are faithfully honoring the energies in their shrine that the waters are not sweeping through the town. Construct the most highest technological gutters, drainage system. If the energy say we are wiping you out, there's not a single thing your technology can do. How are we not learning this? We are spiritual people. We are spiritual beings. My people in the Ga areas, in the Ga community, these are spiritual people. It's the responsibility of the government and the AMAs and what I don't even know. I don't do politics. What they say is something mayor. I don't do politics, so I don't know what happened. It is what they showed me in the realms that I'm speaking. Until you begin to honor the right energies. Haven't you heard many stories? And it's not just Accra, the Volta, all the places that waters have. Water is an energy, mommy. It's an energy. When are we waking up? It's an energy. So long as you make the energy happy, the energy will ensure they take care of you. I saw what I saw in the realms. Huh? The whole city of Accra was going underwater. The whole city of Accra was going underwater. And one old priestess in the Ghana area, old woman, stood at the shore and said, "No, I'm here. No, I'm here. No, I'm here." And the water cooled down. Two things that will solve the flooding. Do it and see if it won't work. Clean out all the gutters, not because it's dirty, but because you are honoring the energies. You are doing it not because it's dirty. No, because you are honoring the energy. You are honoring the energies in the gutters. Free up all the waters. Honor all the energy. Rebuild all the broken shrines. Honor all the 99 gods of the Ghana areas. And see. And it has to be a national thing. It don't got to be just the Ghana people or the Ghana communities. No. It has to be a national thing. What I saw in the realms is not good. What I saw in the realms is not good. It's time we wake up as a people. Ghana is a spiritual land. The Lord Saturn, the Saturday God, Amen-Ra, rules over Ghana with her feminine counterpart, Amagana. Until we rise up and begin to realize that this is a spiritual country. This is not for anybody else or any entity else but the spirit of Ghana. Certain things won't be made right. There are things happening in the country and political affiliations want to take credit. Like, it is my party, it is my party. It has nothing to do with political affiliations, and it has nothing to do with religious movement. There are things happening in the country because certain priests are praying, certain priests are doing the necessary things. But we all play with it. Huh? It's high time we stop messing and playing around our resources. And this listen, it's starting from the Ghana communities. It's going to break through the entire nation. Certain gods are going to deal with certain people. Don't joke with these things. Certain gods are going to deal with certain people drastically. No human being can save those people. If you don't wake up and honor the forest, honor the river bodies, honor the mountains, you go to a whole place and there's a powerful mountain. And what is happening? They will break down the entire mountain with no respect to the energies crying in the mountains. You think you go scot-free. Gone are the days where nobody was honoring these energies. Or gone are the days where, let me say it right, gone are the days where some of our priests that were honoring this energy didn't care about the nation, but was more focused on themselves because the nation didn't care about them either. I don't blame them. Gone are the days where our priests were ignoring these things because the nation had it. We do Independence Day. We do Independence Day, right? Independence Day. You bring Christians, you bring Muslims, and you ignore your own gods. You ignore your own gods. The gods that made the land. The gods that established the country. You ignore them. And you bring Christians, you bring Muslims, and you ignore the gods of the land. If people don't sit well, the things that are happening in the realms, the gatherings that are happening in the realms, if people don't sit well, if we don't wake up and start doing the right things, you think Kwame Nkrumah just gained independence by free? You think he just gained independence with no rituals? You think Papa J built NDC with no rituals? With nothing? Mudia grow. You can lie to the public that all these parties don't go places. But you can't lie to anybody that is spiritually awoken. Let's wake up and do the right things in this nation. I mean no disrespect. I mean no arrogance. But I speak unapologetically when it comes to this nation, and it comes to our gods, and it comes to our energies. Let's wake up. Something is about to happen in this nation. Something is about to happen in this nation. And if we don't do the right things, it won't end well for some people. Some people, it will end well because some people have woken up and they are doing the right things. But it won't end well with some people.